G'day, this is Steve, Woodworking Masterclass. Welcome to the workshop and welcome to the next episode in building the Marta B pencil case number 6, which hopefully is going to end up looking just like this one. What we did last episode was made another template with a web in it so we could have the compartment at the top of the pencil case, and this is the swinging part on the bottom, and routed out the base. And also we measured up some veneer using masking tape and then cut the veneer into strips. Now what I did, the masking tape I took out to get the length that we needed, I've actually placed on the veneer. This isn't too bad because you've got pretty much a lineal sort of curve there, but when it comes to this one, it's a different ball game because you've got nice curve here and then it goes really tight in this area here and also in this area here. Before we move on to that, I cut an angle on these pieces of veneer I'm putting in, and I'm using about 50 degrees. So if you've got a 45 degree square, just place it over there and make it a little bit steeper than 45. So I don't want it to be 60, but 45 is a bit too obvious for me. So that'll do. Just place it on there like that and cut down. Again, these angles aren't precise. It doesn't really matter. If you remember back to last episode, I talked about drawing pencil lines on the back of the veneer. That way, we know which side to glue down and which side goes up. Okay, we'll do the easy one first. You'll need your block. You need the longest piece of veneer and some water. And it's a question of squirting both sides of the veneer. You're better off to put too much on than not enough. Now with the pencil marks to the back, sort of get it so that this portion here we've cut is going to end up around the middle of a long side. Do it gently. If you fear it's starting to break, put a little bit more water on it and just feed the veneer in like that. Now not all veneer is going to be able to do this. A lot will break, so your choice of veneer is pretty important. And about an inch or 3/4 of an inch or 20 mil from where this angle is, just cut it with a pair of scissors like that. And that's it. Put it to one side to dry out. Also I'm going to put it on its edge so we don't crimp any of the veneer. Now with this one, cut the bit of veneer into two, so you've got the short bit for the top and the long bit for the bottom, and that's whatever length the masking tape was. That goes in quite easy. But for this corner here, I guarantee if you try and bend it, you're going to snap the veneer. So what I use is just a screwdriver. Any round bit of dowel would do. Make it really, really wet. Work out where that curve's going to be, and then you rub it over the screwdriver. And as you rub, you're stretching the fibres and you're actually bending it at the same time. And be careful because it's very, very fragile. But you can see how I'm bending that almost, well, it's over 90 degrees. Put that one in first and then the rest will just follow. If you get a pencil, you can just pull it right into the corner there. Again, this one's a bit too long, so I'm just going to cut that off with a pair of scissors. And then put it to one side and let that dry. It's a little bit of messing around and you might break a few bits before you get it right, but it's a skill worth learning. All right, now they're dry. You can see how it keeps its shape. A lot easier to glue it in once it's been pre-formed like that. You can use different sorts of glue. Personally, for a job like this, I'm going to use a what do they call it? Contact cement, which is this stuff here, fast grip. Any of them, a tube or a tin, it doesn't really matter. There are ways you can use ordinary woodworking glue and you can put expandable clamps in there to hold it in place, but quite frankly, this isn't going to have much wear and tear, and the contact will do a great job. Little trick with contact cement. How often do you open the tin and you use a little bit and then it goes hard and you've got to throw it away? Well, here's a little thing that I learnt many years ago from Jeff Hanna, and it has saved me so much in contact cement. It's better if you can get the smaller can. I could only get this 500 gram can, but the 250 gram cans are fantastic. Get some masking tape and put it around the tin. That's the masking tape. There's the lid, but we don't want that at the top. We want that at the bottom. And then I write with a big arrow. You write top on it. Possibly a black texture would be better, but I haven't got one at the moment. And on the bottom of the tin, whack the nail in. Hole there. Hole the other side. Now when I go to pour this out, it's going to pour nice and evenly. And when I've finished, get some masking tape and just put it over the holes like that, which keeps the air out and your glue won't go off. Make sure you do have an arrow and top written on it, because I've heard of cases where people have used this and they've turned it upside down and put it on the shelf, and you come back next day and there's a puddle about that big of glue over your floor. If you're lucky. If you're unlucky, it's all over your bench and all over your tools as well. But you can see how easily that pours now, and I've got a lot of control over that. Spread it around. Make sure you get it right in the corners and all the way around. And now do the veneer part. I'm going to spread all these out in one go, or else I'm going to get glue everywhere. Okay, now finish with that. Put some tape over that hole and over that hole. I can put that back in the shelf till I need it again, and it's going to be still liquid. Look, you can use a brush for this, or a cloth or whatever. And really, if you do have sensitive skin, you have some sort of covering on your hands so it doesn't get on there. This is tacky now, so I can actually put it all together. Well, now with this stuff, it does grip pretty quick, so you've got to be reasonably accurate in the first go. What I aim for is a little bit both sides, so I can trim it later on. Get it in as tight as you can. Get a bit of dowel or something, a bit of a broom handle or nice round bit of timber. And just rub it in there. Now if it doesn't go right into the corners, don't really lose any sleep about it, because it's going to get covered up anyway. Now where I've cut this angle here, just get a sharp knife and follow that angle down. So you're actually cutting the piece underneath it. And then lay that down, and that then gives you a nice seam that when it's all cleaned up, you'll barely see the join. And when you've completed both of those, put it to one side and let them dry, and we'll move on to the next part. But, or however, there is an easier way of doing that, because sometimes, depending on the veneer you're using, your experience level, and the speed at which the glue goes off, you can run into a few problems. So here's a much easier way, but I thought I'd show you that way before I showed you the easy way. Now the easy way I'm going to use on one of the other boxes that I'm going to put a burl on. See you on the next part.